Welcome to JoyTube, where the truth comes alive. In this channel, we explain the ancient texts and biblical stories like no other. If you are new in this channel, please subscribe and hit the notification button so that you don't miss out on our epic journey. Today, we are looking at a widow who lost her only son and was on the way to bury him, and the Lord met them on the way and something remarkable happened. Stay with me. Have you ever reached a point in life where you felt like everything was gone? Your dreams shattered, your heart broken, your hope buried? In the small city of Nain, there was a woman who knew that pain all too well. She had already buried her husband, and now she was walking behind the coffin of her only son. The crowd followed her in silence, not out of curiosity, but compassion. They knew this was the end of her story. But just when the last thread of hope was gone, Hope himself showed up at the gate. This is the story of the widow of Nain and the moment when Jesus Christ met death on the road and won. Luke chapter 7 verses 11 to 17. Soon afterward, Jesus went to a town called Nain, and his disciples and a large crowd went along with him. As he approached the town gate, a dead person was being carried out, the only son of his mother, and she was a widow. Luke chapter 7 verses 11 to 12. Picture this scene. A dusty road, a weeping mother, a lifeless young man carried on a stretcher. Behind her, the town mourns. Ahead of her, the grave awaits. She has no husband, no son, no future. In her culture, this means not just emotional loss, but total desolation. No provider, no inheritance, no identity. She was walking not only in a funeral procession, she was walking into a life of despair. But at that very moment, another procession approaches, led by Jesus. Life itself meets death face to face at the gates of Nain. When the Lord saw her, his heart went out to her and he said, "Do not weep." Luke chapter 7 verse 18. Those words carry the heartbeat of heaven. Jesus was not moved by ceremony or fame or power. He was moved by compassion. The Greek word used here, splagnizomai, means a deep, gut-level compassion, the kind that feels another's pain as your own. Then he went up and touched the bier they were carrying him on, and the bearers stood still. He said, "Young man, I say to you, arise." The dead man sat up and began to speak, and Jesus gave him back to his mother. Luke chapter 7 verses 14 to 15. He touched what others would never touch, the symbol of death. He spoke where others would only mourn, and life returned, not just to the young man, but to his mother's soul. Jesus didn't just raise a body, he restored a future. We all experience moments like the widow of Nain, moments when the thing that gave us purpose or identity dies. Maybe it's the loss of a loved one, a relationship that ended, a dream that failed, or faith that grew cold. When life feels like a funeral march, Jesus still meets us at the gate. He sees our pain. He feels our heartbreak. And even when the world says it's over, he speaks life again. Do not weep. Arise. I will restore what was lost. Joel chapter 2 verse 25. His compassion is not just for the woman of Nain, it's for you, today. When we walk the same road as the widow of Nain, the widow of Nain's story may feel ancient, but in truth, her footsteps echo through every generation. Because somewhere in life, each of us has walked behind our own coffin, grieving something we thought we'd never lose. Maybe it wasn't a son. Maybe it was your marriage that died quietly, even though you tried everything to save it. Maybe it was the dream you held since childhood, the business that failed, the opportunity that slipped away, the vision that never came to life. Maybe it was your faith, once vibrant and full of light, but now dimmed by disappointment. Or maybe it was a person, someone who meant the world to you, whose absence has left a silence that words can't fill. We all know that road, the one where hope fades with every step, where tomorrow feels meaningless and the future looks empty, where people walk beside you, but no one can truly carry what you've lost. The widow's grief was not just about death, it was about finality. When the only thing that gave her life meaning was gone, so was her identity, her stability, her sense of worth. That's the same pain that creeps into our lives when we lose something irreplaceable. It's the voice that whispers, "It's over. There's no coming back from this. You'll never smile again." But then, just as Jesus met that widow at the gate of her despair, he meets us at the gates of our own. Not when we've figured it out, not when we're strong again, but when we're at our weakest, carrying what's dead and hopeless in our arms. The miracle of Nain reminds us that Jesus does not wait for us to come to him. He comes to us, right into the middle of our grief, our questions, our confusion. He steps into the funeral procession of our lives and speaks life again. And notice this, the widow didn't even ask Jesus for help. She didn't cry out or plead for a miracle. He saw her. He was moved with compassion. And he acted, because mercy moves first. That's what makes this story so personal. Even when you have no strength left to pray, no faith left to believe, Jesus still sees you. He knows the depth of your heartbreak. And just like he did for the widow of Nain, he can touch what seems untouchable, the broken pieces, the cold moments, the dead dreams, and whisper, "Arise." The same Jesus who raised her son can raise your hope, revive your purpose, and restore what you've lost. As it is written, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." Psalm 34 verse 18. "I will restore to you the years that the locust has eaten." Joel chapter 2 verse 25. So don't lose heart. Even when you're walking behind the coffin of what once was, Jesus is walking toward you, ready to turn your mourning into joy. The crowd in Nain stood in awe, saying, "A great prophet has risen among us. God has visited his people." Luke chapter 7 verse 16. And that's exactly what happened. God visited a broken widow, and through her story, reminds us that no grave is too deep, no loss too final, no heart too shattered for his mercy. So, if you're watching this and something in your life has died, hold on. The same Jesus who touched the bier in Nain is still walking your road today. And when he speaks, dead things live again. When life says it's over, heaven may just be saying, "Watch what I can do." The people of Nain thought they were walking to a burial, but when Jesus arrived, it became a resurrection. That's what happens when mercy meets misery. Death gives way to life. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to JoyTube. And see you in the next video.